Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free English ebook before it's gone. When learning a new language, everyone should have an ultimate goal to work towards. Whether you want to be able to connect with a relative, easily order food while traveling, or go somewhere new, having an end goal for your learning can be very motivating. A popular but challenging goal is being able to speak like a native speaker. It's difficult to measure exactly when you reach this goal, and it's not something you can pick up using textbooks alone. So how do you work on making your speech more natural? That's what we're going to look at today. Here are 3 tips to help you practice talking like a native speaker. Number 1, focus on vocabulary. If your goal is to speak like a native, you might be really focused on speaking quickly or using as many complex grammar patterns as possible. But in our native languages, we're not always trying to speak as fast as possible, and we use complex grammar patterns when necessary, not to show off. Vocabulary, however, is extremely important to expressing ourselves naturally. Your choice of words can reveal a lot about you and your understanding of the language. Most learners have had the experience of using a phrasebook or a dictionary to find a word they want to use, trying the word in conversation, and getting a look of confusion from the native speaker. In some cases, although your word choice may be grammatically correct, the word may be inappropriate for the situation or totally unnatural. This is especially important in business and other formal situations, where the right level of formality and professionalism is key. Being able to understand nuances in vocabulary words can also help you understand relationships between people just by listening to the conversation. Try to listen to many different types of conversations. Listen to how people talk to their friends, their superiors, and in customer service situations. This will give you a better idea of how to talk to others naturally. In some languages, you can omit words from sentences or use more direct communication styles. It's important to be aware of these things so you can apply them yourself. Colloquialisms and slang are also commonly used in most languages. As this sort of vocabulary is always evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with the latest words. Talk with native speakers and consume media in your target language to make sure you pick up these kinds of expressions. Media is a great resource for your learning. Ultimately, knowing the appropriate vocabulary to use for each situation will really help you sound more knowledgeable. Number 2, perfect your accent. With every language, there are unique pronunciation and intonation challenges. Some languages are tonal languages, and a change in pitch can completely change the meaning of a word. Then there's the fact that most countries have multiple dialects, and so people from one area of the country may sound different from those in another. So what is the best way to listen to a wide range of accents and different pronunciations? Video and audio resources are a great way to do this. YouTube is a perfect place to start because people from all kinds of different backgrounds upload videos to the platform. You can watch educational videos, daily life vlogs, cooking shows, a travel series, whatever interests you. Pay attention to the different ways people speak. Everyone is unique. And then practice speaking like them. This kind of practice can help you sound more natural. One note, please be aware of the type of resources you're using. For example, if you find a video where a speaker uses a rare dialect, it might not be a good idea to use that for your pronunciation practice, unless you have a special reason for studying a specific accent. As a general rule, it's best to try to search for practice resources that use a standard form of the language you're studying. Number 3, copy what you hear. Do you remember how you learned to speak as a child? We rarely learned new words just listening to them, or reading after we learned how. When we were little kids, we imitated the sounds we heard by repeating the sounds out loud. While you're talking to a friend, watching videos, or listening to audio in your target language, you can do this to try and replicate the way they speak. Doing this will help you work on mastering the flow of the language, your accent, intonation, and pronunciation. Of course, you might also pick up some new vocabulary this way. Make sure to repeat new words often. It's a great way to make sure you remember them. Try doing this using a number of different mediums and sources. That way, you'll be exposed to the diversity that the language offers and master the fundamentals of pronunciation. For example, You can watch and imitate several different YouTube videos and audio CDs, but try a few different sources, like different creators or different audio types, to make sure you experience a wide range of communication in your target language. If you're using our language learning program, you can even get your own teacher with Premium Plus. Your teacher can answer questions, give assignments, and even listen to your recordings and give you advice on pronunciation. Completing these kinds of lessons with a native teacher can really boost your confidence in your speaking skills. Becoming able to speak like a native is a popular goal for many people learning a new language. It feels great to be able to communicate smoothly, especially when the people you're talking to expect basic level sentences or broken communication. Try using the tips we've shared in this video to work on improving your speaking skills. Of course, it'll take time and persistence, but the reward will be more natural communication. And for even more tips on speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. Welcome back to Top Words. Today we're going to talk about 10 things to know how to say before traveling. Let's go. I'd like to go to. The first expression is I'd like to go to blah blah blah. I'd like to go to your hotel name. I'd like to go to attraction name. I'd like to go to the nearest station, please. This is an expression you can use with perhaps a taxi driver or maybe like a shuttle bus driver from your hotel. I don't know. So if you want to explain where you're trying to go, you can use this expression. I'd like to go to blah, blah, blah. I'd like to go to blah, blah, blah. In a sentence, I'd like to go to the Empire State Building. Number of people, please. The next expression is number of people, please. Number of people, please. By this, I mean like the number of people in your group. This is an expression you can use when you go to a restaurant. So if you're traveling with your family, for example, you could say 4, please, when you enter a restaurant. Or if you're traveling with one other person, you could say 2, please. So just the number of people in your group when you go to a restaurant. This can be just a small thing that you learn how to say so that you can quickly communicate with restaurant staff. So, in a sentence, 2 people, please. Numbers. Okay, next is just numbers. Numbers are very useful when you travel, especially if you're traveling to a place where the price tags for items might not be clearly displayed. So if you're going to maybe like a flea market, or if you're going to like a yard sale or something where the prices are not clearly marked, you can use your knowledge of numbers to ask about and to listen for prices of things. So if you know your numbers, this can be very helpful for you. And maybe you can also like protect yourself from getting charged too much money for something. In a sentence, wow, $50 for this sandwich? Thank you. The next expression is thank you. Thank you. So before you travel, make sure to study how to say thank you and maybe a few different ways that you can say thank you to people. Of course, the most basic form in English is thank you, but maybe consider thanks or I appreciate it or thanks a lot. So make sure to know how to say thank you before you travel. In a sentence, thank you for your help. Can you tell me where is? The next expression is can you tell me where something is? So if you need to ask for directions, you can use this pattern. Can you tell me where the bathroom is, for example? Or can you tell me where this restaurant is? Or can you tell me where this sightseeing spot is? So you can use this when you need to ask directions or when you're like in a department store or a shopping situation and you need help finding something. Can you tell me where something is? In a sentence, can you tell me where the station is? Excuse me. The next expression is excuse me, excuse me. So this is useful for if you bump into someone on the street Or if you need to interrupt someone, like you need to approach someone with a question, you can sort of begin the conversation with, excuse me, and then maybe, could you tell me where the station is? Or, excuse me, I'd like to go to blah, blah, blah. So using excuse me can be a polite way to initiate, to begin a conversation with someone. Excuse me. So in English we have excuse me, or we have sorry as well, but sorry is used more for like an apology, like I did something wrong. Excuse me is just a way to say, like, I'd like to begin a conversation, but I recognize that you might be busy with something. So excuse me is like, you want to start a conversation. Sorry is like an apology. So I recommend using excuse me in English. In a sentence, excuse me, where can I buy a train pass? Where is the restroom? Okay, the next one is very important. Where is the restroom? Where is the restroom? So this is an important question, I think. So if you're out shopping or if you're like in a sightseeing location, it may be important to know where the restroom is. So where is the restroom is a nice one to use in English. You can say where is the toilet, but in American English, it might sound a little bit too direct. You could also use like where is the washroom, perhaps in British English. But generally, where is the restroom is quite a nice expression to know for English travel. In a sentence, where's the restroom? I'd like, please. The next expression is I'd like something, please. This is useful when you visit restaurants. I'd like a beer, please. I'd like a salad, please. You can also use it when you're shopping. So I'd like 3 of that t-shirt, please. I don't know why you need 3. Or I'd like 4 of these, please. So I'd like, again, that D sound. So the same I'd like as we talked about in the first word in this episode, I'd like to go to, we can use I'd like plus a noun phrase. I'd like something, please. Very useful for ordering and for shopping. So in a sentence, I'd like a beer, please. How do you say in English? The next expression is how do you say something in English? How do you say something in English? So if you don't know the English word for something, but you want to know how to say it, you can ask somebody, maybe like a friend or maybe staff at your hotel, for example. If there's someone nearby that you can ask, you can use this question. How do you say this in English? You can point to something like, how do you say this in English? Just pick it up if it's like a water bottle in my case. How do you say this in English? Or like, how do you say that in English? You can use that expression and you can just point to the object to make it clear what you mean. So how do you say something in English? Do you speak language? The next expression is, do you speak language? So do you speak language? So if you want to check and see if the other person speaks your language, you can use this expression. So in my case, I would say, do you speak English? Or if you travel somewhere else, maybe if you're from like Vietnam, you could say, do you speak Vietnamese? Or do you speak Portuguese? Or do you speak Chinese? So you can ask people around you what languages they speak. If you have like an idea that maybe that person can speak that language, you can ask them, do you speak Japanese? So maybe a useful one. Do you speak English? Too. All right. In a sentence then, do you speak Portuguese? So those are 10 things to know how to say before traveling. I hope that those are a few good pointers for your next trip somewhere. If you have something else that you think is a good thing to know before you travel, let us know in the comments for sure. If you liked the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other good stuff too. Thanks very much for watching this episode of Top Words, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Easter Sunday in the United States is among the most important religious holidays in the nation. There are also secular events held around this holiday, and, in some cases, families celebrate traditions other than the Christian one. For Christians, the holiday is centered on the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Churches hold special events during Easter weekend. Besides midnight masses on Christmas, Easter services are some of the most popular in churches in the United States. Do you know when many of them hold these services? We'll show you the answer at the end of this video. Aside from the religious traditions, which vary from church to church, Easter Sunday in the United States is celebrated in other ways as well. Whether or not they happen to be followers of any church, people in the United States are inclined to have family gatherings on this day, and large feasts are usually served. For some people, Easter Sunday is merely a celebration of spring, while for others it has tremendous religious significance. The most prevalent Easter Sunday tradition involves church services. Some churches hold elaborate parades to celebrate the day, and others have less noticeable celebrations. Most churches at least have social events over the Easter holiday, allowing them to spend time with their fellow churchgoers and to socialize. Picnics and other events are also commonly held during this particular holiday. Secular events held during Easter Sunday include Easter egg hunts and other activities for children. These events are open to everyone and don't have any particular religious overtones to them. Community events are often held as well, simply because the holiday is notable and people tend to want to get together. The Easter Bunny, eggs, flowers, and other symbols are very much associated with spring and are still important traditions for this particular holiday. Because denominations in the United States are so diverse, you'll find many different traditions being celebrated on Easter Sunday. Some traditions involve all-night vigils before the holiday itself. And now, here's the answer to the quiz. Do you know when many churches hold Easter services? Services at the break of day are among the most popular church events on Easter Sunday. During these services, Christians come to church in the pre-dawn hours and have their service as the sun rises. For many, these services have a powerful symbolic significance. How was this lesson? Did you learn something interesting? What kind of Easter traditions exist in your country? Please leave a comment at EnglishClass101.com. Until next time! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Passover is one of the most important Jewish holidays. The holiday is widely celebrated in the United States in areas where there is a large Jewish population. In areas where the Jewish population is not so large, Passover is generally not celebrated. It's not an official holiday anywhere in the United States. A particular type of bread is associated with Passover. Do you know which type of bread this is and why it's associated with the holiday? We'll show you the answer at the end of this video. The Passover celebration goes on for up to 8 days. It commemorates the flight of the Israelites from Egypt and one of the 10 plagues that the God of the Israelites released upon the Pharaoh. According to the tradition, the Israelites were commanded to paint their door jambs with the blood of a spring lamb so that they would not be subjected to the death of their firstborn as the Egyptians were. This is where the term Passover comes from. In areas where there is a large Jewish population, many people of other faiths spend time with their Jewish friends during this holiday and learn a bit about the Jewish culture and traditions. Passover is celebrated by secular Jews, though the religious connotations are obviously much less prevalent in these celebrations. Both feasting and fasting are part of this celebration. Community Passover events are scarcely heard of in the United States. This is largely a family holiday with a significant focus on the Jewish religion itself. There are many different rituals related to eating during this time of year and the retelling of the stories behind the celebration of Passover. While it may not be an official holiday, most Americans are well aware of Passover, and people of the Jewish faith are often given time off of work so that they can observe the holiday if need be. And now, here's the answer to the quiz. Do you know which type of bread is associated with Passover? Unleavened bread is associated with the Passover holiday. According to the story in Exodus, the Israelites did not have time to wait for the bread to rise before they fled Egypt. Because of that, they ended up traveling with unleavened bread, and it would evolve into a cultural symbol within the Jewish community, as well as an important staple of many people worldwide. How was this lesson? Did you learn something interesting? Are there any holidays with religious significance in your country? Please leave a comment at EnglishClass101.com. Until next time! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Mother's Day is held on the second Sunday in May of every year. It's one of the most important commercial holidays in the nation. The holiday is over 100 years old and was officially declared a federal holiday in 1914. Originally, the holiday was celebrated by hanging a flag to recognize the mothers who had a child who died in war. Today, it has no association with war whatsoever. The first Mother's Day celebrations were associated with a particular movement. Do you know what movement with which it was associated? We'll show you the answer at the end of this video. Mother's Day is, just as the name implies, a celebration of everything to do with mothers. It's common for people to buy expensive gifts for their mothers, or at the very least, to send them a card showing their appreciation. Mother's Day cards have become among the most commercially successful items associated with the holiday. It's one of the times of year where card companies are just swamped, more so than other occasions. In the United States, children will sometimes really go over the top for their mothers on this holiday. This is particularly true of sons. In families where there is more than one son, it's not uncommon for all of them to compete to get the best gift for their mother. This is truly a day where motherhood is venerated in the United States. While motherhood is the main theme behind Mother's Day, people in the United States only celebrate this holiday for their own mothers. It's rare for people to give Mother's Day gifts to anybody but their own mother. Some families may include the grandmothers in the celebrations, but by and large, this is a holiday celebrated within the nuclear family. The International Mother's Day Shrine is a historic landmark in the United States where the inaugural Mother's Day celebration was held. And now, here's the answer to the quiz. Do you know what movement the first Mother's Day celebrations were associated with? Some of the first Mother's Day celebrations were connected to the temperance movement, the movement behind the prohibition laws that went into effect in the early 20th century. Today, however, Mother's Day is completely apolitical. How was this lesson? Did you learn something interesting? Is there a day dedicated to mothers in your country? Please leave a comment at EnglishClass101.com. Until next time! Spilling salt. Did you know it's believed in the US that spilling salt will bring you bad luck? Some people believe that it's bad luck because Judas is said to have spilled salt during the Last Supper where he betrayed Jesus. Or more likely, it's considered bad luck because salt was an expensive commodity a long time ago. In order to counteract the bad luck, it is said that you must throw salt over your left shoulder. Whenever I spill salt, though, I always forget if I'm supposed to throw salt over my left shoulder or my right shoulder. Lucky penny. In the US, it's believed that if you find a penny face up on the ground, meaning the side with Abraham Lincoln's face on it, that you should pick it up. It's long believed that metal and money bring more wealth. So if you find a penny face up, it might mean that a guardian angel is watching over and protecting you. Find a penny, pick it up, all day long you'll have good luck. Did you enjoy that video? Click here to go to EnglishClass101.com to learn more. Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Father's Day is a relatively recent holiday in the United States, having come into existence in 1972. It's celebrated on the third Sunday of June every year. Though it's not as commercially important as Mother's Day, it's equally important to many families. Father's Day can be a bit more irreverent than Mother's Day in many regards. Lots of people call home on Father's Day. Guess which type of calls are particularly popular during this holiday? We'll show you the answer at the end of this video. Father's Day is all about showing fathers appreciation for what they do, for acknowledging the role of fathers in children's lives, and in many cases, simply for making an excuse to hang out with one's dad. The holiday tends to have less of the soft imagery associated with Mother's Day, and, in fact, it does have a reputation as being an occasion that is rather lighthearted. Father's Day gifts tend to be, not surprisingly, manly in nature. It's common for people to buy their dad's power tools, neckties, sporting equipment, and so forth to show appreciation. In fact, getting an ugly necktie on Father's Day is something of a cliched joke among fathers across the nation. It's been poked fun at in commercials and in other venues. Father's Day is not quite as popular as Mother's Day. Researchers attribute this partially to the fact that there are more families with single mothers than there are with single fathers, which may skew the popularity of the holiday. The holiday is consistently popular, however, and many families find an excuse to do something special just for the father and the family on this particular day. For younger children, actually making a Father's Day gift is something of a tradition. Many children are encouraged to make something that they think their father would like, such as artwork or crafts, for example. Other children may opt to help their father out with chores. And now, here's the answer to the quiz. Do you know what type of calls are popular on Father's Day? Collect calls are particularly popular on Father's Day, somewhat humorously. While fewer people tend to call home on Father's Day than they do on Mother's Day, many of them choose to call collect. How was this lesson? Did you learn something interesting? Is there a day dedicated to fathers in your country? Please leave a comment at EnglishClass101.com. Until next time! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Hanukkah is the most popular Jewish holiday in the United States. It falls on a date determined by the Jewish calendar, but is often very close to Christmas, making for a natural association between the two holidays. It's also called the Festival of Lights, and commemorates the rededication of the temple by the Maccabees in the 2nd century BC. A particular toy is associated with Hanukkah. Do you know which one? We'll show you the answer at the end of this video. Hanukkah is one of the most important Jewish holidays and is one that most people in the United States are very familiar with. The distinctive menorah, a candelabra that is kindled as part of the celebration, is commonly associated with the holiday by most people, Jewish or otherwise. Gift giving is also sometimes a part of this holiday. Even though Hanukkah is not as widely celebrated as Christmas in the United States, it's a holiday that most people are cognizant of, and many non-Jewish people who have Jewish friends do participate in it to some extent. The holiday is also sometimes celebrated by secular Jews to keep the holiday season alive for non-religious reasons. The name Festival of Lights comes from the story behind Hanukkah. According to tradition, the lights in the temple were able to keep burning for 8 straight days, despite only having enough oil to keep burning for 1 day. This tradition is remembered today by the lighting of the menorah. This is the Hanukkah tradition with which most non-Jewish people are familiar, and the menorah is widely known in the United States as an emblem of Jewish people. A Hanukkah gelt is a small quantity of money traditionally given at this time of year. Chocolate coins, though they possess no monetary value, have become popular over the years as well. And now, here's the answer to the quiz. Do you know which toy is associated with Hanukkah? The dreidel, a particular type of top with which a game is associated, is a traditional activity for children during this time of year. The dreidel is very commonly recognized as a symbol of the Jewish people in the US. How was this lesson? Did you learn something interesting? Are there any holidays with religious significance in your country? Please leave a comment at EnglishClass101.com. Until next time! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Kwanzaa is a holiday in the United States that celebrates the heritage of African Americans. The holiday originated in 1966 and is held from December 26th until January 1st. Today, it provides an opportunity for African Americans and other U.S. citizens to learn about each other, as well as a day that serves as a uniquely African American holiday. The first film about Kwanzaa was released in 2009. Do you know the name of that film? We'll show you the answer at the end of this video. Kwanzaa came out of the 1960s in the United States, when racial tensions were particularly high. Many leaders in the African American community wanted to create cultural events and holidays that were specific to African Americans. Kwanzaa comes out of that desire. This holiday has endured over the years and, in fact, has become more popular as the years have gone on. Kwanzaa is very much centered on community. The holiday's name comes from a Swahili term, which refers to both tradition and reason. There are 7 principles associated with Kwanzaa: unity, collective work and responsibility, self-determination, purpose, cooperative economics, creativity, and faith. The holiday was recently commemorated with its own stamp issued by the United States Postal Service. Over the years, Kwanzaa has become an ideal occasion for people to learn about African American heritage and culture. Art, literature, music, and dance are all celebrated at this time of year and shared with friends and family, as well as with people outside of the African American community. While it may have come out of a divisive time, Kwanzaa has become a very unifying holiday and one that's widely acknowledged and celebrated. Kwanzaa has a 7-candle candelabra that's lit over the course of the holiday. This is a tradition similar to other holiday celebrations during the darkest time of year when lights are very important symbols. And now, here's the answer to the quiz. Do you know the name of the first film about Kwanzaa that was released in 2009? The Black Candle was the first American film about the Kwanzaa celebration. It has been featured in other films, however, but not as a central element. Most people in the United States are familiar with Kwanzaa, and whether or not they celebrate it, they generally do know when it's held. How was this lesson? Did you learn something interesting? Do you have any similar holidays in your country? Please leave a comment at EnglishClass101.com. Until next time!
Want to transform your driving time into language learning time? How much time do you spend in your car every day? 30 minutes? More than an hour? Why not put this huge amount of time to good use? Instead of just listening to the radio during your daily commute, you could be learning a new language instead. Here are 3 easy methods for learning a language in your car. You can put them to use right away with the help of our language learning program. First, you can listen to fun audio lessons by real teachers. Listening to lessons while in the car allows you to focus on the road as you listen and learn. In every one of our 3 to 15-minute lessons, our teachers teach you conversations, new phrases, and cultural points. Audio is the only learning medium that lets you learn and drive safely at the same time, so take advantage of all our audio lessons available. Second, you can set your lessons on autoplay and go hands-free. Our autoplay feature lets you keep your hands on the wheel without even reaching for your device. Just set your lessons to autoplay one by one with our Innovative Language 101 app, and never have to interrupt your focus on driving to switch to a new lesson. Third, you can repeat out loud and speak from your very first lesson. You want to speak a new language too, right? Well, you'll start learning conversations minutes into your lessons. All you have to do is listen and repeat out loud. Our teachers take you step by step through all of the words, phrases, translations, and grammar points. You're even prompted to speak out loud and repeat. The result? You understand it all and can speak your new language. Turn your commute into language learning time and have fun at the same time. Learning doesn't have to be a big commitment, like signing up for a college class. It can be fun and easy. In fact, it's as easy as pressing play. Our language learning programs will do the work for you. And with the exposure you get while driving on your daily commute, you'll be speaking and understanding real-life language quickly. The best part? You can finally learn without even changing your schedule. So if you're ready to finally learn a new language the fast, fun, and easy way, sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Signing up takes less than 30 seconds, and you'll start speaking from your very first lesson. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Welcome to EnglishClass101.com's English in 3 minutes, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn English. Hi, how's it going? I'm Alicia. Nice to meet you. In this series, we're going to learn some easy ways to ask and answer common questions in English. It's really useful, and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, you're going to learn new, more common ways to ask and answer the question, "How are you?" in English. You've probably learned, "How are you?" and "I'm fine" in textbooks before, but in the United States, people will usually ask this question and answer it in a different way. First, let's review. If someone says, "How are you?" you can say, "I'm fine." I'm fine. Here are some other ways to answer. Pretty good. This means about the same thing as "I'm fine." Pretty good. We also have not bad. You can use this if you are feeling just okay or so-so. Not bad. Let's look at our question again. How are you? This is the most well-known way of asking how someone is. You could use it when you want to be polite. But now, let's look at some different ways to ask how someone is. These ways are more casual and much more common. First, hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? You can answer this in many ways. If you're feeling good, you can say, good. Good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Not bad. Not bad. Once more, good. Pretty good. Not bad. Here's a tip. Even though these answers mean the same thing as "I'm fine," you can't answer "How's it going?" with "I'm fine." It will sound a bit strange. If you're not feeling good, you can say "Not so good." Not so good. Not great. Not great. Or not so well. Not so well. Be careful. If you say one of these, the other person will usually ask, "Why? What's wrong?" to be polite. Then you will have to explain. Another casual but very common version of "How are you?" is "What's up?" What's up? To reply, use a cheerful voice as you say, "Not much," "Not much," or "Nothing much," "Nothing much." This means you're free and able to chat. Since "What's up?" is just another way of saying hello, you can also reply with "Hey" or "Hi." Now it's time for Alicia's advice. A lot of the time, when we ask questions that mean, "How are you?" in English, we're not actually asking about the other person's health. We're only asking to be polite. You should think of these questions as another way of saying hello, a way for the conversation to get started, instead of actual, literal questions. In fact, when someone asks you, "What's up?" you don't even have to answer. Just say, "What's up?" in reply. Do you know the difference between "What do you do?" and "What are you doing?" It's a little tricky, but we'll explain it simply in the next English in 3 minutes lesson. See you next time. Welcome to EnglishClass101.com's English in 3 minutes, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn English. Hey everyone, I'm Alicia. In this series, we're going to learn some easy ways to ask and answer common questions in English. It's really useful and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to ask what someone's job is in natural English. Of course, you can just say, "What is your job?" This is correct English, but it sounds too direct and awkward. Native English speakers almost never say this in a social situation. Instead, they use a different question. But before we master that, we need to compare it to a very similar question. What are you doing? I'm presenting a video about English. What do you do? I'm an English teacher. Do you see the difference? These two questions, what are you doing? And what do you do? Sound similar, but mean different things. The first one is asking what you are doing right now, this minute. You answer it using an ing verb. What are you doing? I'm reading. I'm watching TV. While the second is actually a shortened version of what do you do for a living? This is how we ask, what is your job? In natural English. Let's practice this question. What do you do? What do you do? When native speakers of English ask this question, it can come out very fast and sound more like, what do you do? In order to tell it apart from, what are you doing? Just listen for the ing sound on the end of the question. If it's not there, then you're being asked what your job is. So how would you answer this question? Just think of it as if the other person is asking you, what is your job? You could answer with, I am, plus your job. I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher. Or, I'm an engineer. If you want to learn more job names, go to EnglishClass101.com and check out the core word lists. These cover job vocabulary and more, and include a picture and audio to help you perfect your pronunciation. You can also mention the place that you work at, starting with, I work at. I work at a hospital. I work at a hospital. I work at a law firm. I work at a law firm. If you work for a big company that is well known, you can say, I work for, and then the name. I work for Microsoft. I work for Microsoft. I work for the New York Times. I work for the New York Times. Now it's time for Alicia's advice. When you ask the question, what do you do? And the other person tells you their job, it's polite to make some kind of positive comment about his or her job. For example, how interesting, or that must be exciting, or even, oh, really? Remember to sound sincere. Do you know how native English speakers ask each other what their hobbies are? Hint, we don't use the word hobbies. Find out next time in the third English in 3 minutes lesson. See you next time. Welcome to EnglishClass101.com's English in 3 minutes, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn English. Hey everyone, Alicia here. In this series, we're going to learn some easy ways to ask and answer common questions in English. It's really useful and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to ask what someone's hobbies are without using the word hobbies. You've probably seen the question, do you have any hobbies? Or, what are your hobbies? In an English textbook before. However, native English speakers almost never use the word hobbies when asking about them. A much more natural way to ask the same question is, what do you do for fun? Let's practice this question. What do you do for fun? What do you do for fun? You can also ask, what do you do in your free time? What do you do in your free time? So how would you answer this question? Let's look at how native speakers would do it. The easiest way is to say, I like to, or just, I like, followed by what you like to do. For example, if you like watching movies, you could say, I like to watch movies, or I like watching movies. I like to watch movies, or I like watching movies. And if you like golf, you could say, I like to play golf, or I like playing golf. I like to play golf, or I like playing golf. You can emphasize how much you like your hobby by adding a word like really in front of like. For example, I really like watching movies. On the other hand, if you want to play down how much you like something, you can say kind of. For example, I kind of like playing tennis. Now it's time for Alicia's advice. If you don't have any special hobbies or don't want to be specific, a good way to reply is, I like hanging out with my friends and stuff like that. I like hanging out with my friends and stuff like that. Just use I like and add hanging out with my friends and then add and stuff like that. How do you answer the question, where are you from? It doesn't even have a verb. We'll cover this and more in the next English in 3 minutes lesson. See you next time.
Friday the 13th. Did you know it's believed in the US that if a Friday falls on the 13th day of any month, that it's considered an unlucky day? The origins of this superstition aren't clear. It's possible that since some Christians believe 13 is an unlucky number and Friday is an unlucky day, Friday the 13th is especially unlucky. There's even a famous horror movie created after this superstition called Friday the 13th. The number 13 is already an unlucky number, but Friday the 13th is an especially unlucky, creepy day. Knock on wood. In the US, it's believed that knocking on wood after talking about the future can prevent an event that was spoken about from taking place or to ensure that it will indeed happen. It's probably because in many cultures, it's believed spirits live in trees. Knocking on wood is a way to avoid tempting fate. You knock on wood to remind yourself that the future is still uncertain. I had a great job interview, and knock on wood, I think I might be in the running. Did you enjoy this video? Click here to go to EnglishClass101.com to learn more. Opening an umbrella inside. Did you know? It's believed in the US that opening an umbrella while inside a building will bring bad luck. This superstition most likely stems from pure pragmatism. Umbrellas used to be larger and more unwieldy, so opening them inside tends to result in broken things and accidents. Bringing an already opened umbrella inside, however, is totally fine. Hey, wait till we're outside. Don't you know it's bad luck to open an umbrella indoors? Four-leaf clovers. In the US, it's believed that four-leaf clovers will bring good luck. The more leaves, the better. This superstition has its origins in pre-Christian Ireland, where the Druids believed that three-leaf and four-leaf clovers help them see evil spirits approaching. The chances of finding a four-leaf clover are 10,000 to 1. Did you enjoy this series on American superstitions? Click here to go to EnglishClass101.com to learn more. Yeah, vamos a la playa. Now we're going to the beach. Hi everybody, welcome back to Top Words. My name is Alicia, and today we're going to be talking about 20 travel phrases that you should know. So let's go. Do you have any recommendations? The first phrase is, do you have any recommendations? This is great to use when you get to a restaurant where you don't know what the food is, you don't know anything about the local cuisine, or you're just feeling a little bit adventurous. You can ask the waitstaff, do you have any recommendations? How much is this? How much is this? This is useful when you're out shopping or when you're in a restaurant and the price is not clearly marked or something is not clear to you. So you can ask, how much is this? Usually when you point to something, I would recommend like pointing to the menu or pointing to an item. How much is this? I'd like this. You can point to something and say, I'd like this. If you want to say, I'd like one, for example, I don't know, you're getting beer. I'd like one of these. If, however, you're in a situation where you can't point, you can say, I'd like 10 of the blah, blah, blah. I'd like 10 of the blue t-shirts, please. Can I try this on? Is useful when you're shopping for clothes. So you find something that you'd like to try, just ask the staff, can I try this on? You can just say, I want to try this on, if you like. Do you speak English? You might get asked this phrase. So you should say, if you're watching this video, you should probably say yes, or you can say yes, a little, if you're not feeling very confident. If you're watching this video and you're understanding this part and you say no, then that's a little strange. So, I have a reservation. Usually the staff will greet you and you can say, I have a reservation. Hello, I have a reservation. It's at 7 o'clock. The name is Alicia. Usually we say the name is, or it's under, meaning the reservation is under my name, or it's for name, or it's in name. Water, please. Depending on which country you're from, water may or may not automatically be brought to your table when you're at a restaurant. If you would like more water, however, you can say, water, please. To make it a little more polite, I would wave at the waitstaff and say, could I please have some more water? Do you take credit cards? Do you take credit cards? In case you're not sure if the shop that you're in will accept credit cards or debit cards, you can ask them, do you take credit cards? So it doesn't mean, do you take, meaning, are you going to take my card? But this take means, do you accept credit cards? This isn't what I ordered. So if you're at a restaurant, you order steak and you get lobster instead. You can look at it and go, ah, this isn't what I ordered. Be careful though. Say this politely. If you look at the waitstaff and you say, this isn't what I ordered, they're gonna be like, I don't know, just be a nice customer. Excuse me, but I don't think this is what I ordered, or this isn't what I ordered. Can you please check? Could we have the menu, please? If for some reason you don't receive a menu when you come to the table, you can, again, just wave at a member of the staff and say, could we have the menu, please? Could you give me a discount? Could you give me a discount means I would like a cheaper price, essentially. So it depends on which country you're in. If haggling or bargaining, meaning talking to the seller to try to reduce the price. My family didn't bargain, we didn't haggle, so I don't haggle. It depends on you and your culture, but just be aware of the culture that you're in and the place that you're in before you ask this question. Do you have any vegetarian dishes? This is useful. Some people have specific eating requirements or eating needs, maybe food allergies, for example. You can replace vegetarian with the specific dietary requirement that you have. Do you have any vegan dishes? Do you have any gluten-free dishes? Do you have any low-fat dishes? Do you have any low-carb dishes? Do you have any fish-free dishes? Do you have any... Could you take a picture of me, please? If you are in a location where you would like to take a picture, but you don't want to do a selfie, or you don't have a selfie stick, or whatever, you want someone else to take a picture of you, a stranger that you don't know, you can ask them, could you take a picture of me, please? Or, excuse me, would you mind taking a picture of me, please? I'm allergic to blah, blah, blah. If you have a food allergy or even an allergy to a medicine, this is the phrase you can use to explain that. I'm allergic to wheat, or I can't eat wheat, for example. Is the Wi-Fi free? Meaning, can I use the Wi-Fi free of charge? Keep in mind, some places have a password that you have to ask the staff for. So you can say, is the Wi-Fi free? If they say yes, you can then follow that up with, can I have the password? I'd like to have a non-smoking seat, please. So when you go to a restaurant, you have an option between smoking and non-smoking sections. The staff will say smoking or non-smoking. You can say, I'd like to have a non-smoking seat, please. Quite honestly though, the most natural response is just to say non-smoking. Could I get a map? Maybe it's a map of the subway system for the city that you're in, or maybe it's a map of the area around your hotel. You could say, could I have a map as well? Could I have the check? You're finished at your cafe, you're finished at the restaurant, and it's time to leave, it's time to pay. So you say to the waitstaff, excuse me, could I have the check? Another more common expression perhaps is, excuse me, check please. You might also hear bill. Excuse me, can I have the bill? Where is the bathroom? Very important question. If you're traveling in America, we don't really use the word toilet or washroom very much. We use bathroom or restroom to talk about toilet facilities. Excuse me, can you tell me where the bathroom is? Or excuse me, I'm looking for the bathroom, or I'm looking for the restroom. Is this the train for blah, blah, blah? Or is this the train that goes to blah, blah, blah? To confirm with someone that I'm indeed on the correct train line. If I say, is this the train bound for San Francisco? You can use that to check if you're correct. So that's the end. Those are 20 travel phrases that you can use when you're traveling in an English-speaking country. Give them a try. I hope that they go well for you. Of course, there are many different variations on these themes, so be sure to experiment a little bit. Thanks very much for watching this episode of Top Words, and we will see you again soon. Bye! The things that I do before I travel to a country where I cannot speak the language, I actually learned numbers. Okay. Fin. Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free English ebook before it's gone.